Hello, my name is Anderw W.K, and this is Records in My Life on northerntransmissions.com.
What's a record, like the first record maybe you bought or the first record you gravitated to, and why?
I believe it's an album series called Hooked on the Classics, and it features classical compositions, the motifs from very popular, the most beloved classical songs, meaning it's everything from Gershwin to Beethoven to Bach and Mozart and everything in between. Set to like a dance beat, like a metronome, but it really worked well, and it was not only just the arrangement that was so compelling, but it was sort of amplifying those classical melodies that even as a child are somewhat inherent. They're just in the atmosphere. So I was probably about 4 at that point. That was the first record that I remember asking to hear again, that my parents had put on, that I requested, and I would run around and play basketball with a small foam ball in the house. It had sort of a soundtrack-like quality. It's all instrumental music. I always liked that too. You could kind of narrate your own life. It was like a score for your own existence. So yeah, and it still sounds great now. It's very successful, very popular. And actually what's interesting is the gentleman who was responsible for releasing that, he recently passed away. He was a salesman who sort of helped to bring about the infomercial. And
Popeil? Ron Popeil?
No, it wasn't Ron Popeil. I believe he's still alive, but of the similar school, I'd say Ron Popeil is a follower of this gentleman. And I didn't realize that this guy was responsible for, among other things and other products, he also had made this Hooked on the Classics series. So I was really influenced by the energy and the drama and the excitement of that sound, that album.
Is that a K-Tel?
Yes, K-Tel. Very well done. Yeah.
Well, you were describing the guy.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's not Canadian?
Yeah, exactly. You're right. He was Canadian.
K-Tel's Canada.
From Winnipeg, yes.
That's right, Winnipeg, that's right. K-Tel's Winnipeg. Cool.
Good on you for that.
So was there an album that, I mean, aside from that, like, okay, so let's say I want to play rock and roll, I want to sing in a band, like what, is there a group that you...
Well, I never wanted to sing in a band to this day. That was out of necessity rather than desire. So no one else would sing the songs that I was making, so I figured I better figure out some way to do it, and I've barely figured out that way. Every day is a new chance. Today will be another chance to try to learn how to sing these songs, but sometimes necessity is the mother of not only invention, but ability. So I have risen just barely to the occasion of singing. So that was, I would hear singers and say, well, there's one thing I'll never be able to do. So sort of like seeing Michael Jordan dunk a basketball, there's no shame in realizing that is not necessarily my destiny. My destiny is to party, and with that comes these other things. So I focus on that as my main goal, my main ability to summon a party energy, and then the rest is just fuel for that fire, hopefully.
So what record would you say you've listened to like a lot, that you kind of singers like you've emulated? Is there an album or a band or a singer that you...
Most of the music that I've listened to that I liked, I wouldn't incorporate into my own efforts. I think, again, kind of out of respect, sort of why even bother trying to dwell in this person's realm when they have mastered the terrain? So what could I have to offer? Piano, that was what I learned before I ever heard any, other music. It was these piano lessons, and I tried to put that at the center and say, well, that's something that I can do, that I have some very limited, but some skill nonetheless. Try to use that as, the lyrics, the singing, that's all very much secondary, for better or worse for me. It's just, can I get this energy summed up with this keyboard? So I say my main inspiration is those piano teachers. I'd never had seen anyone play music until these teachers played music, and the way that they played, it made me have chills up and down my body. It made me have this butterfly feeling in my stomach. It made me say, okay, music can do this. This isn't just some fluke, like, oh, tomorrow I'm not going to feel that way. Every time, I'm even talking about now, I'm getting chills also because of the breeze. But every time that music could do this, and something about that piano, it was like calling to me that you're meant to do this, even though it was difficult and painstaking and practicing was not necessarily that fun. There was something deeper that said, this is what I should do and focus on that.
Okay, this is a bit of a tough question. If there's an album to take to Desert Island Discs, aside from Hooked on Classics, can you tell us a record?
Like one album-length album. I mean, probably some Bach things, some, instrumental. Well, actually, now that I think about it, being stranded on a desert island, you might want to hear another human's voice. So that might, help you from losing your mind a little, but that could also get very grating. I was saying Bach because it seems like there's so much infinite wisdom in those melodies, and you could really dissect them in so many different ways. You can let them wash over you and not try to dissect them at all. You can try to pick them apart and understand them in different ways. It's really endless, and it does seem to be verging on some shadow of a reflection of truth, which could be helpful in a time of great adversity like being stranded somewhere. It might give you that hope that even as you're perishing from lack of nourishment, you're going out, at least with this beautiful soundtrack, and perhaps seeing some kind of divine destiny there that isn't just total oblivion.
So, Bach, no specific album.
Maybe the pipe organ stuff. Maybe the pipe organ collection. Karl Richter, he's a great German. Well, he's passed away now, but it was a great German Bach master. Pipe organ, piano, harpsichord. He was also a conductor. I think he conducted the Berlin Philharmonic. But I really like how he performed. He played a little bit slower. And the pipe organ, that's just a real special. Nothing comes close to that, except maybe accordion. But that's a lot smaller,
Tiny bit smaller.
Yeah, a lot smaller.
Right. What about one rock album you take to, then we'll finish?
Rock album, probably Harmony Corruption by Napalm Death. I mean, that's the album I've listened to most total, probably, in life, because I've listened to it every day, sometimes twice a day, for probably almost the last 20 years, so. And the thing is, I want to hear it even more now. I haven't burned out on it. It's had the exact opposite effect. It's sort of like water. The day you burn out on water, you're probably going to die. So I've had a similar real essential experience with that album where even when I did take a break and I went back, I was afraid that it wouldn't have the same effect. It was actually even more powerful than last time. So that's one of those albums for me where I feel like I was born to hear it, and it was born to get to me. It's just, it confirms that life can't be bad. It can't, like the glass half full, glass half empty. That to me is proof, bona fide proof, that that there is a reason to live. At least one, and that's that album, among many other things, like other good stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to give it the highest praise that I can give. It has brought me so much energy. It has lifted me up. I can feel it. You can feel it make you a better person. It's making me better at being alive, when that album's on. Even just thinking about the album. So I like that a lot.